Welcome to Story Time with me, Miss Sheila. I hope you're having a wonderful and beautiful day. You see that I brought you out by the water and you saw the big fish that's made fish, but it's cool because the story I'm reading you today is called Joseph and the Sabbath Fish. Oh, so let's get into it. Oops. Long ago, a man named Joseph lived in the land of Israel. He made his home in Tiberias, a city on the shores of the Sea of Galilee. No one honored the Sabbath more than Joseph. No one set a more elegant table. His challah loaves were baked with the finest flour. His goblets were filled with the rarest wine. The fish for his Sabbath meal was the sweetest that could be found. Perfume oil pressed from the ripest olives filled his Sabbath lamps. So there he's preparing, him and his family. Every Friday night as the sun began to set, Joseph threw open the doors of his house. He invited anyone who wished to celebrate the Sabbath to come in. Travelers far from home, beggars from the alleys, young and old, rich or poor, everyone was welcome, and Joseph treated them all as honored guests. Yes. Joseph's neighbor, Judah, also set a fine Sabbath table, but he did not open his house to everyone. Why do you waste money feeding beggars? Judah asked Joseph. They would be satisfied with less. Do as I do. Give charity to the beggars, but invite only important people to your Sabbath table. Everyone is important. Joseph is correct. Everyone's important. Those who come to my table are honoring me, and together we honor the Sabbath. What we give to the Sabbath is repaid 1,000-fold. Wait and see. You will be left with nothing, Judah predicted. Let's find out. Over time, Judah's warning came true. Joseph's wealth melted away. He no longer lived in a fine house. He no longer dressed in expensive clothes. But he still celebrated the Sabbath, and he still welcomed everyone to his home. Now his guests baked the challah, brought the fish, and shared their wine. His lamps were filled with ordinary oil, but the joy around his table was the same. Judah scoffed as he saw Joseph's fortunes decline. What we give to the Sabbath is repaid 1,000-fold? What a joke. Joseph's hospitality has brought him to the gutter. Then one night, Judah had a dream. Oops, my hair. He saw Joseph sitting in his house, overseeing his lands and counting his money as if it were his own. Judah woke up trembling. Does this mean that all my wealth will be given to Joseph? He worried. Is this dream a warning? So there's Judah dreaming, like sleeping, and that's part of his dream with Joseph. Judah became so frightened that he could not sleep. He avoided Joseph, and if he saw him by chance, he ran away. His terror became so great that he sold everything he owned and purchased a ruby as big as a hazelnut. He sewed the ruby into the lining of his felt cap, and then he packed his clothes and left Tiberias. So there's the ruby in the cap. Judah traveled to the port city of Sirius, where he boarded a ship bound for Africa. Joseph will never find me, he thought to himself. I will be safe. There he is, climbing aboard. After several days at sea, the ship sailed into a frightful storm. The sailors and passengers clung to the rigging to keep from being swept overboard. A gust of wind whipped Judah's cap from his head and tossed his life savings into the turning waves. So there's his cap with the ruby in it. Back in Tiberias, Joseph still celebrated the Sabbath, even though his fortunes continued to decline. He missed his friend Judah and wondered why he left so suddenly. One day he went down to the market to shop for the Sabbath. A fisherman had just brought a huge fat fish to the dock. Look at that one! What a Sabbath meal that fish would make. Take it, the fisherman said. I can't do that. You have to earn a living too. Don't you remember me, Joseph? The fisherman asked. Last year I lost my boat in a storm. You welcomed my family to your home and you shared your Sabbath meal with us. You invited us to come back every Sabbath and you helped me to find a new boat. I owe everything to you. Allow me to repay